Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and it's day 16 of Vlogmas and it's time for Friday Reads. So I've been working on 3 different books this week and I have finished 2 out of the 3 and the third one I will be finishing this evening. It's on audio CD from the library and I only have 1 disc left. But I didn't want to wait too late to get this video filmed and uploaded. Now the books I finished are 2 cozy mysteries. I finished yesterday A Deadly Grind by Victoria Hamilton. This is the first in the Vintage Kitchen Mystery series and I really did enjoy this. A Deadly Grind I listened to predominantly on my phone. I hooked into Hoopla, which is available through our library system, and it's a free borrow. Unlike Overdrive, you don't have to wait for Hoopla. You can click on it and it's there immediately. You're limited to how many you can borrow each week or month, but it's a lot. I mean, I think it's like 10 items per month, so it's still a really good deal. And I was able to just hook my earbuds in and I could listen to this in my car. The main character was interested and a collector of vintage kitchen items, and I love that. I think that's awesome. So I was really interested in the story and the whole idea of collecting vintage kitchen items. In fact, I believe it was last week on my Friday Reads that I showed a few of my vintage kitchen items. So this was really fun. I definitely want to continue this series. It's about a young woman who is an aspiring cookbook writer. She collects vintage kitchen items and she has bought a Hoosier at an auction. You know, she no sooner gets it home and has it out on her summer porch waiting to be cleaned up when she hears a commotion, and she goes outside and someone has been murdered on her porch, and he's obviously been looking for something in the Hoosier cabinet. So that's the setup for the mystery. Then just a little bit ago I finished So Deadly by Elizabeth Lynn Casey. This is the first in the Southern Sewing Circle mystery series and I love this one. I totally identified with the character. She is just going through a lot of similar types of things in her life as being a new person, an outsider to a small town, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it because I felt like I could empathize with her. And she's a librarian. While I've never been a librarian, I have a lot of experience volunteering in libraries, and also she is in a sewing circle. I enjoy sewing, although I haven't done really much in quite a while. I really enjoyed reading about the sewing circle, and it kind of is inspiring me to get back into sewing or quilting or some sort of handwork. I don't know, a lot of people have been talking about knitting lately, and I'm really I'm kind of getting itchy to get into some sort of handwork, and so, I don't know, we'll see. But this was really good. My sister's been recommending this to me for about 3 years and I'm so glad I read it. I definitely will continue the series, and I have them all now, so I can read through and marathon the series if I want to, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now the book I'm almost done with is Inkspell by Cornelia Funke, and this is on 16 CDs from the public library. It is almost 19 hours long, and I've been working on this now for several weeks. I actually started it, I think, back when I was in Oklahoma for Thanksgiving. I may have even started it before I left, and it's been almost 6 weeks since I actually started this. And the reason it's taken me so long is because I have really had a hard time getting into the story. I understand the basic gist of what's happening, but I feel like this is a very character-driven story, and there are so many characters, and a lot of the names sound similar, that on audio I feel like I'm missing a lot. So I think this is one of those books where I'm gonna have to go back and read it in print. And rather than try reading this one in print, I may as well just go ahead and go back to Inkheart and read it in print, because it's been a few years since I listened to Inkheart on audio and I've really forgotten a lot of it. Now I did go back and read the last couple of chapters of this before starting Inkspell, but I think a refresher would really make me appreciate the story more, and because there are so many characters coming in and out, I think I'm going to have to read it in print to really appreciate it fully. And I think it's going to be a great story. I'm looking forward to getting the movie again and watching that. I first saw a little bit of the movie, and that's what made me want to get the book in the first place, the Inkheart movie. And the other thing about the audio is that it's narrated by Brendan Fraser, who is one of the stars of the movie. And he's got a beautiful voice, but it kind of lulls me to sleep. And it's just really hard to follow the story on audio because of all the characters coming in and out. I get really confused, and I was having to go back and listen again and still wasn't quite getting exactly the full gist of everything. You know, it's a chunker, but it's a middle grade book, so it's got pretty large font, and it's you know, thick pages, so it's deceivingly long, maybe not as long as it looks, but it's still a pretty good sized book. I mean, it's 19 hours on audio, so that kind of gives you an idea. And this this hardback edition is over 630 pages. So that's what I finished this week. Now I've got 4 more books to read this coming week to finish the Pop Sugar Ultimate Reading Challenge and the Around the Year in 52 Books Challenge. 2 of them are kids books, the Phantom Toll Booth, and I'm going to listen to a Geronimo Stilton book on audio. And then I've got this Mike Huckabee book that I keep showing, and I've read about a chapter of it. And then the first book in the Brides of the West series, which is called Faith. So about a third of this book is what I've got to read to finish up those challenges. Book club was yesterday, and I went, although I had not read the book. It kind of snuck up on me since December started on a Thursday, and book club meets the third Thursday. I didn't even think about it until Wednesday night. I thought, oh my goodness, book club's tomorrow, and I hadn't even started the book. We were reading Mistletoe Promise by Richard Paul Evans, and I'm still going to read this. I just didn't even start it yet because I really wanted to finish these other challenges. I also was still finishing a bit of the chapters that I was reading for the Try a Chapter tag that I did yesterday, so I just had to let this go, and I will pick it up as soon as I finish all my other challenges. I'm going to read some Christmas books, and this is towards the top of the list. Another one I want to show you, I checked this out from the Bookmobile about a week ago, and I almost forgot about it. This is Librarian's Night Before Christmas by David Davis, illustrated by Jim Harris, and it's a children's storybook, but it just looks really fun, and I can't wait to read it. So I hope that I can knock all of these challenge books out and get them read as quickly as possible so that I can move on to my Christmas reads. I don't know exactly what I'm going to start with, so you'll just have to be surprised next Friday when I tell you what I read. But above all, my goal is to finish up these big challenges. On my Kindle, I have been cataloging my books this week. I mentioned when I did my first Saturday Shelfie tour that I was going to be cataloging my books, and I did the shelf that I have already shown on the tour, and then I went on and started cataloging my Cozy Mysteries, and so far I have already put in all of my paperbacks, and I love it so much. I will show you a little bit more later. I'm going to probably do a video sometime pretty soon about cataloging books, both the low-tech and the high-tech way. So if you're interested in getting some ideas about how you can catalog your books so that when you go to a book sale or even to the library, if you're trying to remember what you've read or what books you own, it's just a really handy thing to have on hand. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you. So since I showed Cotton yesterday, I thought I would show you Boo today because she's looking very pathetic. She was spayed yesterday, so she's wearing her cone of shame and acting very pathetic because of it. When you talk to her, she kind of flops over like, oh, woe is me. But she is such a little cutie pie, and I'm happy that we finally got that done. She's over 6 months old now, I guess probably 7 months old, and so it was past time to get that little chore done. But anyway, I always feel bad for kitties when they have to wear their cones for a while, but anyway, she's adorable as ever. Say hi.